Consonant S is very useful in remembering the most important tenets of the Gandhian philosophy. First, I will start with the word sword. Gandhi has not spoken about sword, rather, he was against sword. He has spoken against sword. In the great Indian epic Mahabharata, there are many things. That is why it's Maha, great. And Bharata means due to greatness as well as heaviness. Mahatvat Bharavatvacha. That is Mahabharata. And now our country is being named Bharata. That is a very good change. Colonial mindsets we are trying to leave gradually. Now, in the Mahabharata, there is a saying that what is the best weapon? That is sword. But which sword? It is a metaphorical sword. Mahabharata says the sword of forgiveness, of mercy, kshanti, kshama. One who holds that sword in their hands, no enemy can vanquish them. This is what Christ said. No, Moses, oh Father, forgive them, for they know not what they are doing. So that sword of Mahabharata was in Jesus' hand also, the sword of mercy. Gandhi said the same thing, that sword, mercy. But his individual talent was he added resistance, fight with that, fight the British, but with love, with mercy. He did not consider the British as enemies as such. He didn't consider anyone as enemy. That is Gandhi's greatness, like Jesus. He rather considered the British in India as friends or guests. But the only thing is that they are friends or guests who have to leave so that we can leave. So the other S's are Swarajya, Swadeshi, and Sarvodaya. Swaraj or Swarajya, the single most important book that Gandhi wrote, in my view, is not his experiments with truth, his autobiography, stories of his, but Hind Swaraj. Short one, most of you have read this. Swaraj, self rule, was the most important thing. Of course, this is not a term that Gandhi has invented, but he had invested with many more meanings. It was Tilak and others, they had already used it. It's a Sanskrit term. Swaraj is my birthright. Similarly, Swadeshi, make in India, now we are having. This Swadeshi movement also in a way was pre-Gandhi. It had emerged in protest against the partition of Bengal particularly. Swa means self, Deshi means one's own country, made in one's own country. So use Swadeshi, but Gandhi took it to another height. Spinning charkha. Why? Make your own clothes so that you don't have to buy clothes produced in mills of Manchester by the British. And so he tried to strike at the very root of British economy. So that it's not that all Indians took to it, but had they, then probably independence would have come faster. So charkha and many other khadi. So Swadeshi. And not only in clothes and all other things, but it became the most important symbol, this charkha. So the sword I have spoken, sword of forgiveness, then Swarajya, that is independence, own rule, Swadeshi, Khadi and others, make things in India, use Indian things. And then finally, Gandhi also moved on to Sarvodaya. Udaya means rise, Sarva means all, everyone's rise. Otherwise, it's meaningless. In a note that he wrote towards the very last part of his life in 1948 only, he had said that I am giving you a talisman. Think if you are in doubt before you are going to undertake any step or any work, or even if you are not in doubt, you want to do something new, just think of the face of the poorest person or persons in your country. Will what you are going to do bring any change in their life, their uplift, their autonomy, their financial improvement? That is the test case. If what you are going to do, brings good to those people, then it is the right work. Otherwise, not. So think about everything, everyone. So along with all growth of all. That is sabka sath sabka vikash, as our current prime minister has given. That is sarvodaya, improvement of all. So these things are very important in Gandhi. And of course, the first sword that I have said contains the word ahimsa. I use the sword analogy because it will be easier to remember, since sword is with S and Swarajya, Swadeshi, Sarvodaya also with S, four S's. Because this is for our students, a very basic kind of course. So I'm not going into intricate details. So non-violence, as I say, Jesus, the Buddha, Mahavira, all this, Gandhi eclectically drew from various sources. And then he was, in his own view also, he was a staunch Hindu, a Svanatani. His Hinduism was in conformity with all religions, that is the universal religion. So of the Vedas, of the Upanishads, like Tagore. Gandhi also denounced casteism vehemently, spoke against, worked against untouchability, and it is due to his interventions more than anyone else that Indian society, India was saved from yet another possible, division. So that was for the quote unquote untouchable community. No one is untouchable, all are great humans. But vested interest people over the years everywhere, but money, these are there, so they try to dominate the majority class of people with all these mind forged manacles, Blake's things. And so, removal of untouchability, Gandhi fought against it. He took to toilet cleaning himself. There is a novel entire novel, because since I am a literature person, so I talk about Untouchable by Mulk Rajanand. So just as Gandhi tried to strike at the root of the British economy with his charkha by insisting that we all should clean our toilets and all, it is not like today's toilet cleaning. Those are a different kind of thing. So which was people didn't like to do it. So by doing that, he tried to remove untouchability from the code of our society, because everyone does our own cleaning. Then we need not maintain a separate caste or class for that and oppress them, for in various ways. So that those were his sincere attempts. And it is undeniable that in the independence of India, his contribution was the greatest. But which is not to say that other people's contributions are meaningless. There were, radicalists, direct fighters. It was a collective approach. And the Second World War. So these, all put together made independence possible. So that sword means ahimsa, then Swaraj, Swadeshi, Sarvodaya. This, and fight against the evils of the society put together is Gandhi. Of course, there are many more things. Those who want to explore, they will. Thank you for being with us. Please share if you like the video and comment your own views in the comment box.